Well, hey there, YouTube. It's Petey, back with a little bit too much light and color saturation. So we're going to be talking about everybody's favorite lunch, ramen. Now, I don't know if you ever tried the yakisoba. Yakisoba! Oh, very good. This has a lot of cabbage in it. I got to admit, the first time I had this, it's a strong flavor. But I grew to love yakisoba, and I'll alternate. I'll have one of these, and then I like the cup of soup. That's the ones that I used to get. And I'm gonna be trying something different. That's what we're here to talk about. So the recipe is one of these. You get a jar. It's $1.87 at my Aldi's for 25 bullion cubes. So you can take half of those bullion cubes, or all of them. But you're going to throw them in a blender or a food processor and turn them into a powder. Now, I used half of mine. And then for my recipe, I used a half teaspoon of cayenne pepper. And once I had powderized, I added that. I suppose you could do it all at once. I also added a quarter teaspoon of black pepper just for ha-has. So this is going to be what kicks up. It's going to have the serving size is a quarter teaspoon. So I'll use a quarter teaspoon measurement. When I prepare this ramen, this is the type where it comes with a seasoning packet. You have to use your own vessel. So there's less packaging, so I like this. It's more affordable. But the one thing I'm going to miss is the vegetables. Now, what I like to do when I'll prepare this ramen is I'll pre-crack it into fours. And that reduces the length of the noodles. And then I'll go in our freezer, and if we have mixed vegetables or corn, whatever, grab a tablespoon full of that corn, and I'll add that to the ramen right when the cooking process begins. So I will tend to cover it, and the steam and the heat from the water is enough to bring that corn around. Even if it's frozen. Or you know what? You could always toss it in the nuke for a second beforehand. But that's how I turn one of these 25-cent ramens into a 65-cent, the cup of soup meal that has the vegetables. Now you could just as soon shave some carrots and freeze dry or dry those out in your in the oven and prepare little individual serving baggies of vegetables and add the powder to it. You can do whatever you want and go nuts. But like I said, the recipe that works for me is I use about half or 13 ramen cubes powderized and a half a teaspoon of cayenne pepper. Now, I know you're thinking, well, that's a lot of work. It isn't for me. It really isn't. To prepare a lunch, to have to grab a jar and throw a quarter teaspoon of something in to get what I want. Because see, the problem for me is the hot cup of soup is way too hot. It's so much heat that my tongue is numb. My whole mouth is numb, and often if I try to drink the end of the soup, it'll do something to the back of my throat where I start coughing and I have to blow my nose for a half hour afterwards because it's too much pepper. So, and what that is cayenne pepper. That's all it is. That's what they're putting in there to make it hot. So if you make your own, and again, mixing it with the beef is just going to give you some duff, something to work with. And you can come to your own happy medium on the ingredients, but I would say a good starting point would be, and if you want to try this just on your own, I would say you could grind up one ramen cube, and you would think that would make 2 to 4, depending on how you do it, how you're going to measure this out, 2 to 4 ramens. And typically, I've seen people say 4 dashes of cayenne pepper for a hot ramen. To me, that's way too much. That's way too much. I would cut that in half to start with. And a dash is 1/8 of a teaspoon. If you don't have dash measuring spoons, I do have those. I bought a set of micro measuring spoons, and they come in handy. But I really do like the yakisoba. You know, this is an acquired taste. It's got a lot of cabbage aroma flavor to it. This is really good stuff, but it's $1. It's $1.08 for this now. And this, I believe we paid $3.50 for a dozen. So with adding a little bit of ramen helper, my little dusted magic, and a little bit of frozen vegetables, I just like the corn. That's really going to be enough for me. And I'll be in hog heaven, as they say. So let me know your ramen tips. I'm sure you've got a lot of really good ideas and tips. What do you need me for? Let me know in the comment section how you like to. Do you cut up a little? You get a little fillet. You get a little prime rib. Slice that up. Throw a little saute an egg. You're gonna crack an egg into your ramen. You're gonna do it up. You're gonna go over to, what's that Japanese place? Trader Joe's, and get some shrimp. Let me know how you like to spice up your ramen in the comments section. I'll be waiting with bated breath for all of the comments and suggestions. It's going to be a tidal wave. It's going to be like The Shining when the elevator door opens. All right, you guys, take care of yourselves. Don't eat too many ramens. Again, I don't want to be, oh, Petey's the ramen guy. That's all he eats. I have ramen twice a month. I was on a bean burrito kick for a while. I used to eat those a lot. I used to eat the Tina's bean burritos, the red hot, until I couldn't take it no more. Now I'm more into a tamale. I have a tamale with a little splash of milk in a frozen pint glass. That's a good lunch. So take care of yourselves. Try to hug your pets. Stay warm if you can. And peace.